What's happening, guys? My name is OTG and I'd like to welcome you back to another video, and this time it's a little bit of a discussion where we're going to be talking about some F1 2014 game ideas, and mostly the idea of F1 games actually coming out earlier in the season rather than being later in the season. Now, I'm going to discuss to you why it's good at the moment to be at the end of the season, why it would be good to be at the start of the season, and whereabouts I think the best place for it to be. So the reason it's good at the start of the season, well, at this point in time, as many of you know, Formula 1 has become a dying game. It's died. Only really minimal things, like a few people can get the best out of it. So like the Into the Barriers, Team at Mardukes, and the AOR highlights are really the ones that are going to stay because they're good and they're entertaining and everyone enjoys them. But for the rest of us, it's very, very difficult because F1 is a dying breed, and to find something new and innovative at this stage is very, very difficult. So obviously that is the case of when it was at the end of the season. So the best way to go forward surely would be at the start of the season. Now the reason I think this would be a fantastic idea is because A, you get to have a fresh-faced game at the start of the season. Everyone's looking forward to F1, everyone's pumped, and everyone can play the game while they go through the season, which keeps the game fresh and like in different races. And if they bring out updates and stuff, so the issue I found with people that said, well, it's not going to be up to date, is it? We're not going to know the pace of anyone. But what if they brought out updates? So they started the game, they built it, and they built out the fundamental idea of the game from pre-season testing. So, but then you get the case of like this season, Lotus have improved now, and Grosjean showed great pace in the recent Spanish Grand Prix. They then bring out an update where the Lotus gets a little bit of pace. Maldonado gets something coded in the game where he crashes out at every corner, and everyone's happy. That would be a really good idea. But the other one is, instead of doing updates, how about they release the game after Spanish practice? So maybe the upcoming weekend, or like a May Day weekend in the UK, something like that. Because you know we've just had the Spanish Grand Prix, and all the cars now are starting to level out of where they're going to be. Mercedes is going to be dominant, Lotus are improving, Ferrari a bit iffy, Red Bull always going to be the secondary team now, and the rest of them are going to scrap out. So the inconsistencies from Williams and Force India, Saubers and the Marussias, and the Caterhams obviously always going to be down there. So if they bring it out early, then it will keep the game fresh, and people will be like, yes, I'm looking forward to this. Let's continue career mode. Oh, I'm driving in the same car as this and this. Well, I like the way the car looked in this track, so let me try this and this. But at the end of the season, it's kind of like the novelty of F1 starting to wear off. I mean, at the end of last season, we already knew Sebastian Vettel was going to win the World Championship. So we go into the game, everyone enjoyed it for a month, but there was nothing really new and something you wanted to do in the game. You were like, okay, so this is this, Classic Edition is, you know, not really that great anymore, and you just get bored of the game. So, the message to Codemasters would be, if you bring it out at the start of the year, A, there's no other real games that come out in that slot, so you're going to have prime slot, because when you're up in at the end of the year, you've got to battle the Call of Duties, you've got to battle FIFA, you had to battle GTA last year. Those were games that were difficult, and people are still playing them games. People still play FIFAs, people still play Call of Duties, and people still play GTAs because they're new and they're still having innovative ideas. F1 is a sort of game where you have it for a short period, and then when the new season come around, you look at your game and you're like, well, it's not the same drivers, it's not the same cars, I'm not really enjoying it as much. Same with FIFA. FIFA every year is the same with a few tweaks, and them tweaks are mostly the kits. But when you play it, you're like, okay, I'm using the same kits as they are at the season because the kits are all new and fresh and everyone wants to use them, and everyone finds their new kits, and there's always new things to find. F1 doesn't have that, and that's what it needs. It needs something to keep it going and keep everyone interested. Even if they bring out a DLC, 2 DLCs maybe, I don't care what they could be. They could be a different addition to career mode, or maybe you add some tracks to career mode, or you use something to the online, or a different game mode, or some different cars, or something a livery. Something that brings the game new and makes something a little bit more exciting for the user to use. Now, if you've got an opinion on this, then please feel free to leave it down in the comment section below, because this is just my personal opinion. You might have something different. You might think that you prefer it at the end of the year because then you might get it on your Christmas list, or you might want it in summer because that's when you enjoy F1 the most. I mean, go ahead and put it forward. You may even have the opinion that there should be F1 games, I don't know, they should just do them at any time on your birthday. I don't care. But guys, please smash that like button, leave your opinions down below. My name is OTG, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheerio.